Hello everybody. Today I want to talk about insomnia. And I want to talk about insomnia, which is a condition where you didn't get enough sleep or you're unable to sleep for whatever reason when you stay up maybe until 3 or 4 in the morning every night. And today I want to talk about insomnia because last night I didn't sleep all that much. But it wasn't because I didn't want to sleep, but because I had some videos to edit and some scripts to write for those videos. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about insomnia, since I feel inspired to talk about it today. So, insomnia, like I said, is a condition that when you have insomnia, you are unable to sleep. So, it can be because you have some health issues, or it might be because you have some psychological issues, or it could be environmental issues. So the third reason is your environment, your surroundings, the space that is around you. I've read in many places, I've read in many articles that your smartphone is the cause of, that your smartphone is usually the cause of insomnia, because we tend to look at it. We tend to look at the screen of the smartphone before we go to bed. And because we look at that light and we pay attention to many things, so they say that because we look at the light from the screen, and also because our mind is occupied by the things we are looking at, because of those two things, we are simply unable to relax before we go to bed. Now, one thing that I used to do that kept me a little bit up is that I used to listen to music before I went to bed. For maybe half an hour, I would listen to my favorite songs. And since I like really loud songs, really upbeat songs, listening to them before I went to bed really didn't allow me to relax. I mean, I would be filled with energy. I would feel pumped up. I would feel that I had a lot of energy, so pumped up. And I would not be able to go to bed because of it. When I realized that, I know it might be silly to some of you, but when I realized that and I stopped listening to music before I went to bed, or when I switched to more soothing, to calmer music, it would be easier to go to bed. It would be easier to fall asleep. I also, let's say that I didn't struggle with insomnia, but I would not be able to go to bed before 1 or 2 a.m. That's 1 or 2 after midnight. And I realized that is because I had a lack of physical activity during the day. So if my day involved me sitting behind a desk or sitting or laying in my couch, I would notice that it wouldn't be easier to fall asleep. But if I did some physical activity during the day, like jumping rope, walking, running, or going to the gym, I would notice that it was much easier to fall asleep. You guys could write in the description whether you have the same issues, whether because you don't move a lot during the day, maybe also you have a hard time falling asleep. So I would really like to hear from you guys. Anyway, but many people complain that whatever they do, they can just not go to bed, that they have a hard time falling asleep. Some people also say that it's because of substance abuse, because substance abuse meaning that we abuse drugs. It's usually drugs. We take so much of something and it has a bad effect on us, usually drugs. So that's substance abuse. And many people blame caffeine and alcohol. Now, I don't drink coffee that often, maybe 3 times a week. But I know people that drink coffee 5 times a day, and I think that is too much. I remember during my student days when I wanted to do an all-nighter to study. So all-nighter is to stay awake all night to study or do something. And I remember when I did my all-nighters before a test, I would always drink 2 cups of coffee after 8 p.m. Now, I have one rule regarding coffee, and that is that I will not drink after 4 p.m. because, again, like I said, I don't drink coffee that much. And if I drink after 4, it has an effect on me. Caffeine has a big effect on me. It really lifts me up. And I like drinking coffee. And I try to maintain that balance with it, to not drink too much, but to drink just enough to feel okay, to feel energized. Some people say that we should avoid eating large meals before we go to bed. To be honest, if I don't have a large meal, it's hard to fall asleep. But some people say the opposite, that it bothers them. But again, that's just not me. Now, one form of insomnia is jet lag. Have you ever heard of jet lag? That's when you travel from one time zone to another and your internal clock is not used to that. So, for example, if you go from New York to Berlin, I think the time difference is 6 hours. So instead of falling asleep at 9 like you should, you will fall asleep at 2 a.m. because that internal clock is still used to the previous time zone. So it tells you no, maybe the clock says that, maybe the clock on the wall says it's 9, but I'm telling you it's actually 3 p.m. and you need to wait a little bit more before you go to bed. It never happened to me, actually. I've changed time zones many times, and as soon as I see the sun go down, I know that the time to go to bed will come shortly. So those are my thoughts on insomnia, and I know that tonight I will go earlier to bed. much earlier than I usually do, because I think that I owe a debt of at least extra 3 or 4 hours of rest to my body, and I plan on repaying that debt. So that is it for today, guys, and I will see you next time.